YouTube, Sword Soul is here in Dueling. So what is Sword Soul? It is the 5th installation in the Albaz lore, and it is an archetype heavily focused on synchro summoning. So how does it synchro summon? Well, generally all your Sword Soul cards are 1 or 2 card synchro summons, and they summon tokens which allow you to synchro summon. And they work around worm type monsters. So Moye can summon a token by revealing a worm or a Sword Soul card in your hand. Taya can banish a Sword Soul card in your graveyard or a worm monster to special summon a token. And then last is Long Yuan, which can discard a Sword Soul card to summon a token. So, or worm monsters. So they all have different ways of getting a token on the field. Now, the general way to play Sword Soul was with Tenyi. And that was the way you commonly played in Master Duel or in the TCG. But in Duel Links, we have a skill, Virtuous Bonds, that is situated around it. How does it work? Well, you can reveal Incredible Ecclesia or your Iris Swordsoul to add any Sword Soul card from deck to hand. And on top of it, if your opponent has a card in their graveyard, you can get an additional normal summon that turn. So this is really good. So if they want a Veiler or Impermanence, your Sword Soul monsters, which was one of the main counters, your Taya or your Moye, then you can just summon again. Also, the skill puts 3 copies of Mirror Jade into your extra deck. So Mirror Jade is a non-target banish of any monster on the field, and if it's destroyed or sent to your graveyard, then they allow you to nuke the opponent's field. So really, really good. So, what does Ecclesia do? So Ecclesia has the very powerful ability that she contributes herself to summon Albaz or your Sword Soul monster from the deck. If your opponent also controls more monsters than you do, then you can special summon her, making her great for her turn 2 access. And then the Iris Swordsoul can reveal itself when a negated monster is on the field, and then you can summon it and generally pop 1 monster out of the extra deck, or if they special from the deck, you can draw 2 cards. On to the video.
Duel. Here goes.
Alright, so unlike Master Duel, you generally want to start out with Taya. You can start out with Moye, but starting out with Taya is also really, really good in this case. Because they go and negate your Taya, then you have insurance to generally grab, if you have a Moye in hand, or an Ecclesia, then you can get like an additional normal summon, so it could be really, really good. Again, that Virtuous Bonds allowing you to get a normal summon of any monster. Keep in mind, it can be your Ecclesia as well. So just keep that in mind. So here we add the Iris Swordsoul. Now, keep in mind, we have not triggered our skill yet, so we are going to be able to do so later on. Now, again, like I said, I summoned Taya here first with Emergence, just in case he had an Effect Veiler. We don't know if he did at the time, but in case he had an Effect Veiler, I wanted to make sure that I held my skill, just in case I needed to do an additional summon of like a Moye, revealing that second Emergence, or the Iris, to be able to make plays regardless. Even there, I could opt to, if I got Veilered, to summon the Moye, reveal, get a draw, make a Shishao, and then we would be able to search a Blackout, or we could search our Summon to revive, and then make like something like a Dragite or Draco Berserker if we were to get Veilered there. But, keep going. Alright, so here we go for Summon. Now we make our Shishao, and Shishao can go ahead and search any Sword Soul monster from deck to hand, or Sword Soul card in general. So here, because we're going for the full combo, we opt to search for our Blackout. Again, he didn't have the Veiler, so with our skill, we were able to pick up Summit, which Summit is basically Monster Reborn for this deck, and it's going to give us a ton of advantage in the case of us reviving back Moye, to reveal our Iris, and then make another Synchro. And also, us having Blackout in hand is almost like Treacherous Trap Hole. It can pop 2 cards in the field, so it's very, very powerful by just destroying a worm monster. But as you're going to see, if we have Shang Ying on the field, then it's not going to matter. So, going over Shishao, I never went over this. So Shishao allows you to add any Sword Soul card from your deck to your hand on Synchro Summon. Also, you can't use both effects in the same turn. However, you can banish any worm monster from your graveyard or hand, and then negate any monster's effect on the field. So this is very, very good. It does target, but it is very, very effective. And if you have Golden Sword Soul in your graveyard, it will trigger Golden Sword Soul to revive back your Ecclesia if you do the full combo, which can summon your Albaz to give yourself an interruption to fuse out their extra deck monster into a Mirror Jade. So, keeping on going, we're going to go Moye, revealing the blackout to Synchro Summon, Adamantipator Dragite. Now, Dragite has the ability, again, to negate a spell or trap on the field, and yeah, really, really good. Kind of like a Shien, as long as a water's in the graveyard. But you always have Moye in the graveyard, so that is your negate. Now, that is your water monster. Now, the one other thing I didn't bring up is I didn't talk about the additional effects of your Sword Soul monsters. I talked about how they synchro, but I didn't talk about their additional effects when you synchro with them. So Moye draws a card, Taya sends a Sword Soul or Worm to the graveyard, and Long Yuan will burn for 600. But Taya's ability is really good because, like I said, when we comboed and synchroed into our Shishao, us dumping our Moye allowed us to foolish our Moye and then immediately synchro thereafter. Okay, so we set 2 and 3 and pass. So Iris is going to be a disruption in our hand. Again, what's our disruptions here? Well, MST is attack, so I don't really want to count it. So we have our Shishao negate, our Dragite negate, so monster negate, spell trap negate, and a pop for 2 on the field. As well as Iris Swordsoul, which, again, if we negate their monster, this could summon itself in the hand, and then negate potentially pop an extra deck monster that they have. So about 4 disruptions. MST will pop. He's going to go into Area 0. He's going to link summon into Kagari. We don't choose the negate here because him adding back Area 0 is a hard one to return. So we definitely don't want to negate this. Now, technically against Striker, we shouldn't have put this in the EMZ, given that we had a limited combo. If we have full combo, then we would, but if we have a limited combo, then we're going to put it in the main. So that way you can't back there get rid of it. So we do negate here, just so we can summon Iris, which we do. Jamming Waves will pop. He links into Shizuku. And then Iris will pop his monster. He doesn't read Iris, so he loses Shizuku. And then we pop it and go into Hayate, which he swings. And then he can't do anything else. Now, keep in mind, Virtuous Bonds is not once per duel, so we can use it again. Even if we didn't top that the Ecclesia. But we did. So now we can go Ecclesia. He has the Eagle Booster, which is fine. We summon the Moye, revealing a Long Yuan. And here we're going to make Shishao again. Draw a card. Now, if you were playing Master Duel, you wouldn't chain block. You would chain block with Moye always going second because you want to play around Ash Blossom. But in Duel Links, you're going to want to chain block that's different. You're going to want to make Shishao chain link too. The reason why is because Ash Blossom doesn't exist, and you'd rather search your card so you don't actively draw into whatever you're trying to search for. You'd rather draw into a tech card or something. Just as a note. Okay, so now we have Golden Sword Soul. We keep this in hand. And now we make Rudy Rose, so this should just end Striker. So Rudy Rose Dragon will banish all the cards in both players' graveyards. We summon the Blackout token, we emerge it for fun, and then we just go in. An example, this is just going to be an example of us going full combo and what we can do. So here I'm going to reveal summon, so this is the full combo. We're going to summon Ecclesia, and we're going to go for our Taya. Then we're going to use our Emergence to add our Iris. We're going to banish our Emergence, and we're going to make Shishao. Then, with Taya, we're going to send our Moye. And then we're going to add Golden. Because we already have Long Yuan and Blackout, so we can add Golden here. Summoning back the Moye, revealing the Golden to summon out the Draco Berserker. Now, Draco Berserker, if you don't know what it does, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish it. And then have this gain the attack equal to the original attack of that monster. This is also good because this could trigger Sheng Ying. And this can also trigger your Golden Sword Soul in graveyard as well. So we're going to Long Yuan, pitch Golden Sword Soul, make our Sheng Ying, and then burn for 600. And then we pass. Now, here, this is the God board. Now, this could either be a Dragite or this could be a Draco Berserker, whatever flavor of the month you're feeling. So let me explain to you what Sheng Ying does because I didn't go over it. So Sheng Ying is a level 10 synchro. So Sheng Ying requires is just a generic any tuner plus non-tuner, and for each banished card, this gains 100 attack, and your opponent's monsters will lose 100 attack. This is very relevant because if you have a ton of banished cards, then they will start losing attack and they'll start having trouble getting over you very consistently. Also, this would be destroyed by card effect. You can banish one card from your graveyard instead. So if they want to use like First Dark Lord on it, it's a nuke your field, then you can protect your Shang Ying. Now, the cool thing about this is if a card were to be banished from either player's graveyard, you could trigger Shang Ying's effect, and it can non-target banish one monster in the one card in the field and one card in the graveyard. And this can be any card. It does not mean a monster. It can be anything. And again, if your opponent does not respond, they have no idea what you're going to go after, so keep that in mind. First Dark Lord would get banished, so they wouldn't be able to keep that in the field. And you could also banish a lot of other things that are meta relevant as well, such not necessarily relevant, but a lot of good things such as Titan that wouldn't be able to be destroyed by card effect, but you could banish that. This could be really good in like the Thunder Dragon matchup as well, because they don't really have good ways to get rid of it other than like Goddess it. But yeah, there's a lot of good ways to really abuse this. It's just a fantastic card, and you could trigger it yourself by using your Shishao to like negate their monster and then trigger your Shang Ying. Or if you use Draco Berserker banish and then trigger your Shang Ying. So there's a lot of ways to do it. If you have like a DD Crow in your deck as like attack, then you can banish a card at the graveyard, which can enable your Shang Ying. So there's a lot of ways to potentially do that. Okay, so now we gonna summon Analyzer, and we can banish that from the hand. Draco can also banish out of hand, keep that in mind, or in the graveyard. So Golden Sword Soul now revives your Ecclesia. So after you use your Shishao or your Draco, then you can revive back your Ecclesia. And then this is a quick effect, so this can attribute itself to summon Albaz, and then Albaz can fuse with an extra deck monster to make your Mirror Jade. In this case, we never really get to that point. We just end up wiping his field and then winning the game.
I'll show you. Duel. Here, I'll show you. From my hand, I activate us. Here I go. I activate I'll play. I activate now. I'll play this.
Okay, here we make our Shishao.
Activate my monster's effect.
And then we just add our Blackout. Send the Moye. And you can kind of see it. Unfortunately, I don't have a replay right now of us going second. But be assured you will see this deck go second. And it definitely can go second. And you will see it in our COG run that we're going to finish. Right now we're only at Legend, but we're going to finish it. So again, we have... in this case, we don't have Golden in the graveyard, so we don't have a full combo. He does have Ultimate Fusion, but we do negate. He Cosmics for whatever reason, but I think this is just him scooping and realizing that he can't break this, and then he just loses. So, like I said, a really, really good turn 1. I can't really show up the turn 2 because I don't think I have a replay that shows it. So, yeah, that will just be that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely have a lot more coming as far as Sword Soul content. And yeah, we're going to be doing a COG run with this, so don't miss it. You can watch me on Twitch or on YouTube. And until next time, it's your boy, Show. I'm going to try and sign it out. Bye, YouTube.